coming off this week 7 bye, what are you looking for against the Texans this Sunday? Now we're gonna start with the offensive side of the ball first. Give me three things that you're looking for offensively from the Panthers against the Texans.
Coaching staff. All jokes aside, Tony has hit me up. Tony watched my state of the Carolina Panthers. Thomas Brown is your OC now. I want to see
Right.
a relationship between Bryce Young and Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown wanted to draft Bryce Young. And that even gives me, when I've sat here and thought about it, could Thomas Brown possibly be Carolina Panthers' future head coach? And the reason why I asked that is
Mm,
because when you think about it, if Frank Wright is your coach, why didn't we get CJ Stroud? Regardless of Thomas Brown calling plays for CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, Thomas Brown was headstrong on Bryce Young. So that has me thinking, could this possibly be a interview on the job for Thomas Brown to see how he does with this offense? Could it be that Frank
okay.
Wright could be um, here for maybe two years and transition off what the Washington Redskins are about? I mean, excuse me, I'm sorry. What the Washington Commanders are about to do to Ron Rivera. So that's one thing I really want to see how this team reacts to Thomas Brown's play calling. I want to see how this team reacts, how Bryce reacts to the connection with both of them. And
Yeah.
I want to see this route tree underneath Thomas Brown. I want to also see who's going to be the starting running back. Is it truly going to be a running back by committee? Or is it going to be
Right.
Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders? We already saw what Chuba Hubbard was able to do with the opportunities to be the workhorse. I think they're two different backs.
Right.
I think Chuba does have a little bit of more of a behind his run. I do think Miles Sanders is more shiftier than Chuba Hubbard.
Okay.
Um, and last for me, it will be the protection, and we can get into that once we talk about the enemy or the opponent that we're playing with the Houston Texans. We know who their defensive coordinator
Okay.
is, D'Amico Ryans. He was great
Right.
with the 49ers. They attacked this offseason by bringing in key position players from the 49ers defense to the Houston Texans, and that defense is real. So I want to see how our
Right.
offensive line does protect Bryce, and I want to see the chess match between Thomas Brown and D'Amico Ryans. That's what I got, Tony.
Mm, okay. Well, I'm gonna get into mine in a minute. Kenneth Blair, want to thank you again for the $2 super chat. Kenneth says back to work. 23-17 Cats. First win. God bless.
All right.
Hey, that I'm hoping I hope that prediction is true, because if we can keep them below their average, which is 18.7 points a game, and we give up 18.8 points a game. So we can keep them below their average. I think we'll have a decent chance. I think we'll have a decent chance if the offense becomes explosive, like everybody is hoping. I think it have a decent chance. We just can't get into a shootout, because I don't think that we are built, or equipped for a shootout with anyone. To be
Got
honest,
you.
okay. Now my three things offensively. Number one is better play calling, like you mentioned. Like you alluded to earlier. Thomas Brown is the offensive coordinator now, so we're hoping to see better production on that side of the ball when it comes to calling plays. See a lot more bootlegs, see a lot bit more motion, see a lot more window dressing, get the defense thinking about what's going on. Because anytime you can get the defense to react a half second to a half second slower, people don't realize that's like a 5 second window in the
Yeah.
NFL. You know what I mean? So if you can create that motion, create that guessing game, and they don't know exactly which way or how you're going to hit them, I think we have a better chance at doing that. And as much as I love Adam Thielen uh, doing work right now, and getting his touches and catches and whatnot. We still need to spread the ball around more. We need to spread the ball around more so it can't be just keyed on one thing because it's starting to look too much like when we had Christian McCaffrey. Everybody knew Christian McCaffrey was going to get the ball some way or another when he was in the game, whether it was running or passing. So
Overutilizing
right,
particular play.
overutilized. Yeah. So I don't want to see it. Like I still want to see Adam Thielen do his thing, but I want to see other people get involved. I want to see Hayden Hurst get involved. I want to see DJ Chalk get involved. I want to see John. I want to see all the guys get involved. I want to see Jonathan Mingo get involved. I want to see Chuba get at least 25 carries. I want to see
25?
what would happen. Yeah. Last game he got 19 carries for
Yeah.
88 yards
Mm-hmm.
against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dang, but that's only five more carries. If Chuba can be the workhorse that you and I both think that he can be, 25 carries, it will be nothing. Especially with him right now, his legs are still fresh. He hasn't been worn out, so far in his time in the league. So look, I just want to see what he can do with being the bell cow.
See, I would
That
say
that's what
I will say this, and then I'm gonna make a point that I think people need to understand this as well. Going with Adam Thielen, I will say one thing that I look at different teams and teams that are succeeding throughout the season, they just don't have one back. So when you saying 25 carries, it wasn't that he can't do it, but just look at Kansas City, look at San Francisco, look at
right,
the Miami Dolphins. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. What are they doing? They have multiple backs. And I think I was going to say, if Chuba can get 19 carries and Miles Sanders can get us a good 10 carries per game, I'll take that. I'll take that for the rest of the season. And I think that's what we really need. We need and I'll say this. Think about it. We were known for what? Double trouble. Since Double Trouble has left,
right.
we have not had a great running 1-2 punch. When
No, we
Ken
haven't.
Williams and Jonathan Stewart were here, people were afraid to play Carolina because they knew you had a change of pace and you had a bat that had power, and he can also run down the field and score maybe a 50 or 60-yard touchdown. That's where I think
Yeah,
Carolina has gotten away from. We are a ground and pound, dirty, put your hand in the dirt type football team. And that's one thing that I think our offensive line is great at as well is run blocking. We're better at run blocking than pass blocking. But a
I
point
agree
that
with that.
a point I want to make as well is when Adam Thielen was interviewed yesterday in the locker room, he said he was blown away by Thomas Brown when he met him. That's one of the reasons why he came to Carolina. It wasn't everybody wants to think it was because of Frank Wright. Everybody respects Frank Wright, but if you go back and you
Right.
look at the clips with Adam Thielen, he deliberately said the reason why he came to Carolina because of the player, the coach, and the philosophy and play calling that he saw Thomas Brown could bring to the Carolinas. So with
Mm,
that's already telling me that something's going to be different. Something's going to be different.
okay.
I mean, players could just be lying between their teeth, but to me, I don't think Adam Thielen is one of those players that's just going to say what you want to hear. So
Right.
that's why I said I think Sunday is a lot of excitement. We got the Hall of Honor game, but also I think the battle between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, and I know this coaching staff is going to have a monkey on their back if CJ Stroud just comes into Bank of America Stadium and shows lights out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So my last 2 points was, and you already hit on them, so I'm not going to give any no takes on them really because it's basically the same thing. Better protection for Bryce and establish a run game.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see offensively. Okay, because right now, yeah, I want to see a better. I want to see them establish a run game. I want to see them stick with the run game. Let me say that. Not established. I want to see. Not only do I want to see them establish one, I want to see them stick with it because I think if they would have stuck with it a little bit longer in Miami, I'm not saying that the outcome would have been different, but I think we would have had a better chance, and the score could have been a little bit more closer than what it was.
Well, look at this. Um, what does this game remind you of? We were up 14-0 against who? In Florida just last year. This game, when you really look at it and dissect this game
Mm-hmm.
reminds you of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. You're up 14-0 on a team that did not think that you were going to win. You stopped running the ball
Right.
and you saw what happened.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It gave Tom Brady too many opportunities.
And then
Too many opportunities.
you can't give Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins offense that amount of opportunities. They were already down. And they already said on the sideline during the game, they were getting upset. The defense was getting upset. They had to call huddles multiple times. And then if you think
Right.
about it, we got too pretty. That's the problem. You get too pretty, you up 14-0. What helps the clock? Running the ball. You milk the clock. When you're throwing incompletions, you're stopping the clock every time.
That's
And again,
right.
that's what
That's
happened
right.
in Tampa Bay. I don't know if it's a curse of Florida. When you think about it, we lost to Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay, up 14-0. Had Tom Brady and they're back against the wall. We were about to walk into the playoffs. Look,
Yeah.
we're beating one of the best teams in the NFL, beating a 14-0. They even had, I think Twitter was blown that we were beating them by 14-0. Once they got that first
Mm-hmm.
score, I said, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is.
So defensively, from the defensive side of the ball, what would you like to see the Panthers do versus the Texans? I'm sorry.
Uh Defensively, I need pressure. Um,
Yes.
and I know that's something that I cannot be blinded by because I'm asking something that's probably not going to be able to happen because we don't have the right personnel for this defense to have that. And what I mean by pressure, I mean sacks and stop and run lanes, something that we have not done A1 since day one, week one in Atlanta. We have not been able to stop a run, even if we knew where it was going.
Let me pause you right there. When you say we do not have the right personnel, what do you mean by that?
Hog mollies. Me and you said it last week. I've never used that word until we had, our old GM, Dave Gettleman. He called them hog mollies. We
Yeah.
don't have a big,
Hog mollies.
we don't have a big real nose tackle that can stop, take a double team and allow Derek Brown, allow Tuttle, allow Brian Burns. I don't know who's going to be on the Justin Houston. That's the name that I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out. We signed Justin Houston for what? And that's no
Right.
disrespect to that man. He has not shown me anything. I'm more upset that YGM is hurt because YGM was producing. He was finally
Yeah.
producing with the
He
opportunity.
was finally
But
producing.
now,
Yeah.
a name that people need to think of. What is DJ Johnson going to do? What is that third round pick that you wasted that pick on? Is he going to finally come in after 8 weeks of the NFL and show us what he can do?
I think we're going to get an opportunity to see a little bit more of him now due to the injuries that we have on the defensive side of the ball, especially at defensive end. I didn't say he's gonna come in and
Okay,
light up no
okay,
scoreboard do damage.
okay.
I'm just saying he's going to be given an opportunity. He's going to be given the opportunity to prove a lot of us wrong. Because
I'll
you,
give you
just
that.
as well as I don't expect a lot from him because I don't think he's that good. Let me just flat out say it. I just don't
It's a
think
bus pick, and it's nothing against a young man. One thing I say on WassupDoug, or when I'm on with Uncle Quan, my guy, I put myself in my college days as being undergrad coach. I don't like
right,
downplaying a player, and I don't like talking about a player. And that buzzword, it might just be he needs more time. But with a third round pick, most of your third round picks are starting right now, or they're contributing.
right,
And for me, I think it's a bust pick. Not calling him a bust, but it's a bust pick. I'm not going to say
right.
the name that you and I both said that we wish we could have had, but we know where he's at. We know what we
Right.
need right now. Look at the injuries
Yeah.
in our backfield right now. Look at our DB room. Look at our safety room. We could utilize that player right now. So that's
Yeah.
where if you have coverage on the back end, it also helps your D line as well.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at is this is time for reinforcements, reevaluation, and taking ownership that I have one responsibility. If I'm supposed to hold that gap, I'll take a holding penalty rather than you getting gashed and a hold is only 5 yards, rather than you getting gashed
Right.
12 or 15 yards.
Right.
Like I said, penalties are dumb, but you got to think about it as well. Why would I give up a touchdown? Why would I give up that gap? And I know if I don't have that gap, that's a bona fide touchdown. So for
Well,
me,
you
go ahead, Tony.
no, go ahead, go ahead. Go. I'm
No,
sorry.
I was going to just say for my number one and the key cog of this is we have to provide pressure and we have to provide stop and run lanes. Also, I will even say this for people that don't remember, we were talking about it in the back. What does CJ Stroud struggle with? Pressure throws. That was one of his key weaknesses whenever we were looking at pre-draft. He does not do well underneath pressure. If you provide pressure during this game on Sunday, then it's going to be a good showing for this defense.
Yeah. You know, me and CJ was talking the other day, and we did a video back during not during the preseason, but during the offseason when when he first got hired, and we knew that he was bringing a 3-4 defense to Ghana, and we talked about that. And one thing I told CJ then, with the 3-4 defense, the two most important positions that you got to have when you run a 3-4 defense is a nose tackle,
yes,
and
sir,
middle linebacker.
yes, sir,
because that can also be your weakest link is in the middle of that defense, hands down. That's why.
That's crazy because you say that. Quan and I did a preview on the defense, and we told everybody we went to a 3-4 before with Phil Snow. What did we see that we did not do with Phil Snow? We did not get the right personnel in the building, and we got gashed every year.
He wasn't running a 3-4. Phil Snow was running that 3-3-5 defense that they run a lot in the Big 12, Pac-12. In a lot of these conferences.
Tony, when you got a 3-3-5, it's not a true 3-4. You still got three down line deep. Well,
right.
I don't know how because you can. Yeah, because I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated talking about it because again, we had the money, and one player I was big on was Hargraves. Hargraves went to the 49ers. I promise I'm getting a headache because again, I'm tired of shopping.
Just woosah, bro.
But Tony, it's been happening since Scott Fitter has been the GM. We have shopped at Dollar Tree and Dollar General for too long. We had the money to get the personnel that we needed this offseason. I'm not saying so. I will say this: the Miles Sanders, I would have loved to still have Miles Sanders. Nah, I washed my hair. That's just I got rag on. That's just I got rag on today because I washed my hair and I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. So that's the reason I got a rag on, man. But man,
oh god,
it just has me like discombobulated because we could have got so many different players that could have helped this team, and I look at different players that we were able to sign with contracts. What is his name? I cannot. He used to play for the Eagles, and I'm going. I did, like I said, Hargraves was one. He is a nose tackle that we could have used here. He's a nose tackle that we could have used. I'm trying to think of. I'm not saying go get the farm or sell the farm, but it was just like I said, for you to have that amount of money, and we were not aggressive. Yeah, you got key pieces to help Bryce Young, but what is there if you have an offense, you don't have a defense to stop? Tony alluded to that last week. You can score all the points that you want, but if your defense can't stop anybody, what does that help? And what do we know wins you games in the NFL? Defense.
We're gonna touch on that here in a few minutes, but let me get back to what I was saying was, when me and CJ was talking, we was talking about, the nose guard and the middle linebacker being two key pieces that you needed in this 3-4 defense. And I knew that they were going to eventually add to the line. Now this is this is this is during the off season. This is before the draft, and this is one of the reasons why I was stomping so hard in the draft, pre-draft, all that for Jack Campbell, the linebacker out of Iowa, that's
Detroit,
right
yeah.
now doing work in Detroit because he
But
was the
Detroit
only
was smart
linebacker.
the way they got him. They were smart the way they
Yeah,
got him.
he was the only linebacker that I saw in the draft with the size,
Yep.
height, size, and range that would like to come downhill and can plug a hole or plug a gap, without no problem. What we did, we went and re-signed Shaq Thompson. I love Shaq Thompson, but Shaq Thompson is not a north-south plug the gap type of linebacker. He never has been, and he never will be.
Yes, sir.
Frankie Louvu will do it every now and then if he's blitzing. He's not coming down from the second level and shooting a gap. He's more effective when he's blitzing, when he's already standing up there mugging the front, or when he's on the outside getting the outside rush. You just need a linebacker, someone that can constantly take on offensive guard, whether it's the left or the right offensive guard, somebody that's trying to climb up to that second level and provide a block and trying to clear a hole for the running back. That 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 nose guard position and that middle linebacker position is imperative for you to have to run that 3-4 defense. And right now we have neither one of those. And that's why every game from week 1 to week 6, you have seen teams gash us right up the middle. Because where do we give up the most yards?
Up
Right
the
up the
gut.
middle,
Up the gut.
between the A gap on the left and the A gap on the right.
So Tony, I would say this, and it has me thinking with adjustments. Let's just say hypothetically, we stop the run. Not saying it's consistent, but people they're gonna try to gash us and we stop it. And then I don't know who the Texans offensive coordinator is, but let's say he has to change the game plan because everybody that I know is not a run first team, but they see the weakness to set up play action or to run first, then pass the ball. If they're not able to run and we stop the run, then that helps with trying to contain CJ Stroud as well. And I'm not going to say it's going to be easy to happen. And I see that move.
Yeah.
Chin won't be playing. I think Chin's out for 6 weeks. So that's
I don't care if he was playing, he can't play no middle linebacker.
He don't have enough weight in the hips. He would get trampled every time. Every time.
Every time.
But yeah, like I said,
So
I'm with you on that because if we do not stop the run, it's going to be a long day. And I'm hoping
that's
Evero
me.
has changed something up during the bye week. Again, like I said, I said last week with you, it's a refocus. Get your focus back. Know your assignment, know your job, and do your job to your best to the best of your ability.
Well, the 3 things I had was stop the run, better tackling, and bring pressure and blitzes. Because when you play against a rookie quarterback, just like we have a rookie quarterback, they can be rattled, they can be confused. So far, it looks like CJ Stroud has been doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just have to we have to just send enough pressure and blitzes at him to see if he's gonna do a good job Sunday. If not, then we got him.